As the cliche goes, April showers bring May flowers. But usually what comes after is the heat and dryness of summer. Hello again, SA here. And before the hot weather of the holiday shows up, you should indulge in my new short story, The White Cat, a free exclusive on Substack. The links are down below in description. Join Margot Thompson, a beautiful stage actress and recent widow who finds salvation in the form of a white cat during a night of terror. While checking out my oddball thriller, remember that my Glitch series is still available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The links are down below in the description. While you'll find my peculiar story about a white pussy entertaining, that doesn't mean I'm out of ideas. I still have more stories coming down the pike, so as long as I don't run into any mishaps, you'll see those stories as well. Now let's get back to the video. Hello again, SA here. Anyone who's been paying attention to what's been going on in Eastern Mediterranean probably feels one or two ways about it. Some are probably rooting for the Hamas side, saying, yeah, go, 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 kill the Jews. And of course, other people are probably rooting for the opposite side, saying, yeah, kill all the Arabs, fuck them. Me, on the other hand, I'm more circumspect. I'm not rooting for either side. Indeed, as far as I'm concerned, both of them are been behaving badly for a very long time. Indeed, it reminds me of that scene at the end of Romeo and Juliet, the stage play, where the Burgermeister was criticizing the two clans that were been feuding and fussing throughout the entire story. The Capulets, and I forgot the other one's name. And he famously said, "A plague on both your houses." Yeah, I always thought that was amusing. Well, regardless of how this feud started out there in the Middle East, let's just say things are about to turn very, very sinister very fast. Now, some people, such as Yahoo of the Nephin, yeah, that guy. Well, let's just say this. Anyone who's studied his life history knows that he has no use for Arabs. Indeed, his brother was killed by an Arab. No joke. Yeah. The raid on Entebbe airport in Uganda. It's a famous story, right? Well, Yahoo's brother was there. He was part of the commando raid. And he got killed by one of the Arab terrorists. So there you go. But the thing is, Yahoo, regards to that life history, the man's a scumbag. Okay? Let's not pretend that's what he is. Indeed, his own people, in Tel Aviv, they can't stand aside the guy. They want him gone. But of course, they can't seem to get rid of the guy because, they got a parliamentary system there. So it's not easy to get rid of the head man, unlike, say, in the United States. But I think they'll eventually get rid of the guy. But anyway, Yahoo, he wants the Palestinians gone. And of course you say, oh, with his life history, how can you blame him, right? But the thing is, the reason why he wants them gone is not the reason you might think. Now, I'm going to show you a snippet of a video that Clayton Morris made, and believe me, this is going to open your eyes up wide. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
On the Blinken agenda, during this meeting, a few big points to further drive America into the ground. So you're meeting with Netanyahu. What are you going to be talking about? Clearly, first on the agenda is moving thousands of displaced Palestinians out of Gaza before they're killed in Rafah to settlements designated by the United States and Israel. This has been part of the plan for a while, including free flights and free passage right into the United States. As CBS News has obtained the documents right from their friends at the CIA, they're sort of testing the waters. So the CIA gives CBS News their documents. Remember, they're very, very close, the CIA and CBS. In fact, perhaps maybe the closest news organization to the CIA. But here they are. Here's the documents. Here's what's going to happen. CBS, you go on the nightly news and you tell America what's about to happen.
White House is considering welcoming some Palestinians from Gaza into the United States as refugees. This is according to internal federal documents obtained by CBS News. The Palestinians under consideration would include individuals with immediate family who are either U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Last year, the U.S. moved 60,000 refugees from around the world, but only 56 of them were Palestinian.
So we're going to really amp that number up. Only 56 of them. We're about to kick this shit into overdrive. 88 miles an hour. You're going to see some serious shit. According to the report, one proposal would use the United States Refugee Admissions Program. You just have to find the programs, like where's the money, who's the facilitator, how can we use the NGOs to make all of this happen? So they're going to bring Palestinians into the United States as part of the Refugee Admissions Program with U.S. ties who may have escaped into Egypt. Of course, that's been coordinated as well. We've also covered here the massive open-air concentration camp on the Egyptian side that's being built on the Egyptian side of Rafah. So when they're forced out of Rafah, if they're not killed, they'll be forced over into Egypt, or they'll be taken by the United States directly into the United States. That's what's about to happen here, that you cannot stay in Gaza any longer. You can't go home. So those who pass the eligibility requirements then will fly into the United States with refugee status, receiving housing assistance. We've already been told from the Biden administration they will be given basically a stipend to live in the United States. They will be given rent. And they'll have a path towards citizenship. So this plan doesn't happen just overnight. Of course, this has been many years in the making. Democrats support this plan 100%. Here's the alarm bell pulling Jamal Bowman says, yes, bring them into the United States.
Should the United States bring in people from Gaza?
Well, we are a land of immigrants, and we are a land of asylum seekers. Anyone escaping persecution and oppression and violence, the United States has always been an open home to those people. So whether they're coming from Palestine, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, Haiti, they're coming here to contribute to our economy, which 99.9% of them are. We've always been a place to open our doors to immigrants coming here. So yeah, fully support that, and also fully support amnesty for the migrants who have been here for quite some time.
Yeah, so if you're here illegally, amnesty, and we're ready to bring you in from Palestine.
Okay, wait, a couple of things. Can we just put up a still that video
What
again? Just put that video again, but don't play it.
Okay.
Are you able to do that? It's okay.
Should the United
So first of all, he needs a bigger coat. That button's hanging on for dear life. Second of all, what he said about Palestinians coming here to contribute to their economy is a fundamental lack of understanding of what they want. They would like to live where they live, own that land as a nation state, and not be bombed. They're not like, oh, let me go and live in America and start a new life and contribute to their economy. No, they have a dream for a sovereign state of Palestine. So it's like that's stupid. That's a stupid thing to say.
Well, this is all part of the disruption plan, right? The United States goes in, disrupts those countries. He mentioned Guatemala. He mentioned Honduras. He mentions all of these areas that we knowingly funnel money and weapons into in order to destabilize those countries. we're actively funneling money and weapons into the very areas where we're driving people into the United States. These people don't want to be in the United States. They want to be in their home countries, but they are being driven out. So we always talk about the end of this, which is them coming across the border, but we don't talk about the destabilizing on the front end.
It's almost hilarious. These aspirational Palestinians who want to become a part of the American economy.
Right.
Their aspiration is for their homeland, for their own home, to live in safety.
Now, of course, Palestinians can't stay in their own homes in Gaza. We've already established that, like they've either been destroyed or you're not allowed to stay there any longer, of course. Overnight, Netanyahu announced that they will attack Rafah. That's the southern portion of Gaza, of course, where all the Palestinians are being held at this point. So they'll either be killed or they'll be resettled in the United States. Of course, the people there are starving, and aid trucks getting into this area with rice or other grains is nearly impossible. Israelis like to play a game where they attack these grain trucks like they did last night. It's so fun. They're laughing about it. They're laughing. These starving people can't eat. That fat guy doing the dumping looks like he hasn't skipped a meal in months. So it's okay for him. Let's just dump him on the street. You can't.
No, so bad he's got plumber crack.
Yeah, he's got that fat bastard. That fat bastard can throw people's food on the ground and then stomp on it and laugh and run away. And that's great. So glad you hopefully you can sleep at night. Meanwhile, many people are wondering why Jewish billionaire George Soros is funding some part of the protests. Why are they all using the same tents? When reporters ask some of them why they're there on college campuses, they don't know how to answer that question. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on here. Okay. Why are you here? Stick a bunch of fake agitators inside of legitimate protests, and you have a perfect Soros concoction. He's been doing this for years. He has. Occupy Wall Street, sound familiar? And anyway, it's hard to tell the real ones from the fake ones. These occupations, of course, are being coordinated by the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, the USCPR. Journalist Gabriela Cuccia explains.
USCPR, U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. Who knew? And it's funded by everyone's favorite guy, George Soros. His organization actually pays what they call fellows who start protests on campus. You gotta love capitalism, am I right? They like the socialism thing. They don't want to get money's bad, America the worst. But here we are, capitalism. This organization pays up to $7,800 to community-based fellows. And then for campus-based fellows, they get somewhere between $2,880 to $3,660. Very specific. Who wouldn't want to sign up for that type of money in Joe Biden's economy?
Right. With inflation running amok right now, this is exactly the type of... I'm going to make $7,000 and all I have to do is go and pretend that I care about something and I'm not from that school? Sure, I'll go do it. Why not? We know that the protesters who seized Hamilton Hall at Columbia were outside agitators. In fact, not students at Columbia, we now know. Approximately 300 were arrested at Columbia University overnight, the majority of whom are not students there. Where'd they come from? Good question. So why would a Democrat Jewish billionaire pay agitators to stir up some shit on college campuses? Well, what's interesting is George Soros is a huge fan of Antony Blinken. In fact, George Soros loved Blinken's father so much that he even named one of his buildings after him. Even his own archive is named after Antony Blinken's father. So he loves the guy. So true story, by the way. If Soros is on Biden's side, on Mayorkas' side, and Blinken's side, and Blinken is in Israel as we speak, what is really going on here? What do they want us to think about what's happening in the United States? There's a bigger game of chess being played here. Think deeply about this and then ask why also are Israeli lobbying groups also funding counter-agitators? They didn't get much coverage of this, of course, but this is absolutely happening, which was well documented a few weeks ago by Gray Zone's Max Blumenthal. Yes, the same strategy as Soros, but on the other side. What's the purpose of funding both sides of this fight? I don't know. Three-dimensional chess. Max Blumenthal has a question, though. Will all of these mass protests prompt the DNC to hold the 2024 convention remotely, as Biden did with his entire 2020 campaign, walled off and a walled-off inauguration ceremony? Good question, right? It's a perfect cover. We can't have a DNC because of protests. So Biden is protected. We'll keep him in a cloister. You won't be able to ask him questions.
Right.
You won't get to see any of it. And it's an interesting point. I don't think that's the full picture and story of it. Who cares about a DNC at this point? But it's certainly food for thought, right? Meanwhile, turmoil continues to engulf college campuses. Natalie's going to talk more about it in a second. Coast to coast right now, from UCLA to Columbia to NYU. Late last night, police entered Columbia University's campus and removed pro-Palestinian demonstrators who had occupied the administration building roughly 20 hours before. Of course, again, as we pointed out, they were not Columbia students. So who are they? This happened under NYC Mayor Eric Adams, by the way. And he held a press conference about it, said he was really happy about it. He said, these outside agitators coming into our city, we won't stand for it. And he actually referenced Black Lives Matter movement, people coming in from outside and being involved in these things. George Soros funded as well. Seen here, Eric Adams is, by the way, just if you're unsure who Eric Adams is, he's the one on the left. The one on the right is his boss. So the NYPD last night then posted this after they successfully cleared out Hamilton Hall. They posted this on their social media to show their support of Israel.
No.
Yeah,
that was last night.
Yeah, this is NYPD's website or social media post. Because, of course, NYPD has to share that, put that up there with it. So as Netanyahu explained, if you're curious about how all this happens and why are all of these government officials so in bed with Israel? Like, what the hell is going on here? Netanyahu explained it all back in the 1980s, back when he really wasn't a popular star, back before he became Blinken's boss and Mayorkas's boss. This is how they control the United States. He explained it back in the 1980s. Listen.
זה לא מקשה אחת. יש את הסנאט, יש את הקונגרס, יש את הכוח היהודי שהוא עצום, יותר חזק משהיה אי פעם. יש דעת קהל, יש לנו כוחות כבירים בדעת הקהל שמתנגדים למדיניות הזאת.
Yeah, so we have very strong influence over the general support of the United States. We have Congress, we have the Senate. We basically are able to control the United States, he admitted. So after this, if you're wondering why, after all these protests, why are we seeing all of this now? Why are we seeing this agitation, this focus in the United States on college campuses right now? All of the media coverage is about it. So when all of the corporate media is covering this, but they're ignoring what's happening thousands of miles away in Gaza, something's probably going on. And sure enough, it is, because all of this resettlement plan is happening while this is happening. This joint port project is now unfolding, which will enable the United States and Israel to steal all of that oil and natural gas just sitting off the coast of Gaza. So here you are looking at the foundation being built of our new port that will steal all of that oil and natural gas. Of course, all along, as we pointed out, guys, this is all about oil. This is all about money. This is all about natural gas. It's all about stealing resources. It's all about building beachfront condos. Right there. Look at this beautiful brand new port being built. So Fiora Isabel writes, the journalist says, Israel and the United States have begun construction on a port located 20 miles off of the $500 billion Gaza marine oil and gas fields where tens of thousands have been killed. Sabrina Singh, a Pentagon spokeswoman, told media the cost is $320 million and includes the transportation of equipment and pier sections from the U.S. to Gaza's coast, as well as the construction and aid delivery operations. So yes, you American taxpayers are paying for a new port to be built right inside of Gaza. $320 million. Did you sign up for that? By the way, we now learned inside of that massive aid package to Ukraine and Israel last week that was passed by Congress, slipped in there, we now know, it was a massive plan for resettlement in the United States. Millions of dollars to resettle Palestinians out of the Middle East into the United States. So yes,
and in true U.S. fashion.
Okay, you saw that, right? Now, of course, anyone who's been paying attention to the oil industry knows that, yeah, there's been a lot of oil and gas discovered all along the Eastern Mediterranean. But that's not surprising. I mean, good grief, look in the Middle East, the place is practically floating in oil and natural gas. And I ain't just talking about Saudi Arabia either, or Kuwait, or Iraq. I mean, all those damn countries got some oil and natural gas underneath them. Even Lebanon, even Syria. Of course, in the case of Syria, they got a little problem because of the civil war, and the damn stupid Americans are sitting on where their oil fields are over there in the eastern part of the country. But let's not get caught up in the weeds, okay? But yeah, when natural gas was first discovered off the coast of Lebanon, the Lebanese said, "Oh, double plus good for us." But then I think when people start looking at the survey maps, they soon saw a problem. And that was that the gas field they discovered goes right across the eastern Mediterranean. From their territory, right in front of Israel's territory, and all the way down there to Gaza. And of course you say, oh, yeah. And of course, everyone remembers what happened during the first Gulf War, knows that the quickest way to get a war started is to have a big fat oil or gas field straddling across borders between two countries. Yeah, that can get people pretty riled up pretty fast. Now, of course, all you're now are saying, yeah, but the clowns in Hamas, they weren't thinking about oil when they attacked all those Jews. Yeah, they weren't. But guess what? God works in mysterious ways. And sometimes things come about by accident. Or as they used to say in my neighborhood, accidentally on purpose. Now, of course, the people in Tel Aviv, they have been bickering with the people up there in Lebanon for a while about how they're going to split up that damn gas field. And as for the people down there in Gaza, where basically they had no say in the argument because those people, they don't even have two paints rubbed together, let alone have any way of exploiting that gas field off the coast of Gaza. But as you saw in that, Clayton Morris's video, they found a way getting rid of the people. Now, of course, some of you are saying, yeah, by dropping American-made 2,000-pound bombs on them. Yeah, that's true. But that looks bad on 6 o'clock news. Even the people in Tel Aviv know that. However, if they can get the people to, pack up and go away, hey, that leaves all that damn natural gas for them. But, of course, there's one small problem. Well, the people don't want to go. Because everyone who's been paying attention to the recent tumult knows that the damn Arab countries don't want to take the Palestinians out there in Gaza. They say, no, you clowns stay put. You know why? For a variety of reasons. The primary reason is that as long as those Palestinians stay there in Gaza, occasionally tossing missiles and whatnot over into Israel proper, they're just going to be a burr in the saddle for the people in Tel Aviv. So there you go. But as for that thing I showed you on Clayton Morris's video, yeah. Sneaky, isn't it? Real sneaky. But I don't think it's going to work. I mean, these people, that's their land. That's their home. Why should they pack up and leave? And I have a feeling they're not going to. So then what are you going to do? I mean, these people don't want to pack up and leave. They want to stay in Gaza. You know, it's all looking like the damn dark side of the moon right now, all them craters. So what's going to happen? And you know what's going to happen? I'm sorry to say this, but it looks like you're going to have a repeat of what happened back in the 19th century. Because back then, let's just say this, they had a real bad incident. Real bad. If I remember learning about this back in grade school, it was called the Trail of Tears. And of course, some of you really smart people already know what the Trail of Tears is. I know I explained it to you. But for all you knuckleheads out here never heard of it, it was when the federal government ordered the removal of 5 so-called civilized tribes. And you say, really? Well, what was so civilized about them? Well, I'm not going to get into weeds about that, but let's just say this. I guess these people didn't shit in the woods, okay? I guess that's what made them civilized. But it was basically the Choctaw, the Cree, the Chickasaw, the Seminoles, and the Cherokee. They basically were living in what we now call the modern South, Georgia, Mississippi, and Arkansas and whatnot. And the federal government basically at gunpoint rounded the people up and said, hit the road, Jack. Kicked them out of their homeland and stuck them in Oklahoma. Now you probably say, man, that's a raw deal. Yeah, no kidding. And that's only the half of it. Yeah, that's only the half of it. Because as we all know what happened next, those damn people were stuck out there in Oklahoma. But then, as sure as shit stinks, when people discovered oil in Oklahoma, guess what happened? Yeah, they tried to kick them out of damn Oklahoma. But they didn't get too far, because I think the second time around, the damn Indian tribe said, hell no, we ain't moving. So the federal government basically did a little workaround. They basically passed a bunch of laws all through the 19th century to basically divvy up Oklahoma like a damn, carve it up like Sunday dinner. And they opened up the whole damn territory to white settlers. So there you go. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen to the Palestinians. That just like what happened to those Indian tribes back in the 19th century, they're going to be forced out at gunpoint. They're just going to chase them out of there and say, hit the road, Jack, get the fuck out of here. And then the damn people in Tel Aviv is going to have that old piece of real estate all to themselves, and then they can bring up the damn oil rigs and then start tapping into that natural gas and say, goody for us. Which is a shame, because the funny thing is, that's basically what happened in damn Oklahoma. Because some of you out there right now probably remember that damn DiCaprio movie that came out recently. What was it called? The Flower Moon movie? I didn't see it myself, but I do remember the book. Yeah. Where all those damn Indians got killed over the damn oil. Well, the funny thing is, and you may not believe this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My mother told me way back when I was a kid that her grandmother on her father's side was purebred Cherokee Indian, and that her grandmother and her brother, her grandmother's brother, were run off their land in Oklahoma back at the turn of the century. Now, my mother, never told me exactly what the hell happened, but she just said that my mother's grandmother, and her brother had land in Oklahoma. They're pure-blood Cherokee Indians. Something happened out there, and they got run off their land. And the two of them walked all the way from Oklahoma into Arkansas. And it was in Arkansas where my mother's grandmother, which would make it my great-grandmother, met her husband, a black man. And there you go. And indeed, when my mother told me this story, she had all these maps of Oklahoma oil leases. And at the time, I didn't really connect the two, because I saw those oil lease maps, and I really didn't ask her what she was up to. But then I found out later she was looking at trying to buy land in Oklahoma, hopefully to try to get into the oil business. Didn't work out though. Hey, what can you say? It's the oil business is like polo racing. It's the sport of kings. If you don't have the money to play the game, or as Gyllenhaal once said in that great Nightcrawler movie, if you don't have the money to buy a ticket, you can't play the game. And my mother, unfortunately, at the time, she didn't have the money to buy into those oil leases in Oklahoma, so she couldn't play the game. So there you go. So what's going to happen to those Palestinians out there in Gaza? I'm sorry to say this, but I think that the people in Tel Aviv and the Yankees are going to get their way. The Palestinians, basically, they've rolled the dice one too many times, and they keep coming up snake eyes. And they're not going to get a lifeline from Regis Philbin. Nope, not this time. So yeah, just don't be surprised in the coming months you're going to start hearing stories about those Palestinians being shipped out of there, two at a time, like the damn people on the damn Noah's Ark. They said they won't be going on no damn ark. They'll be coming here to the United States. And of course, some of you probably saying, oh no, we don't want those damn Palestinians up here. All those damn Hamas supporters. Yeah, well guess what? As long as old Sleepy Joe's in the damn White House, you don't get a vote. Old Sleepy Joe, that clown Mayorkas, and all the rest of those knuckleheads are just going to open the floodgates and let all those damn people in this country. They don't care about us. They care about those people in Tel Aviv. I mean, those knuckleheads, they'll sit there and kiss Yahoo's ass in Macy's window and say, ooh, it's sweet, before they kiss your mine's ass. So everyone's going to lose. We're going to lose. Those Palestinians definitely going to lose. But oh yeah, the people in Tel Aviv, they're going to win, because they're going to have that land back, and they're going to have all that damn natural gas off the coast of damn Gaza, all to themselves. Ain't that son of a bitch? Well, that's all I gotta say about that shitty deal. That's my opinion.